Right then, let's get this show on the road. Welcome to episode 2. I am now, I don't even know where my phone is. It is now 3:30 in the morning. Nothing set up properly camera wise, so you're just handheld on the GoPro for now. That will all change tomorrow. So, got here now probably around, what time was it I got here? About 1 o'clock I think I got here. I'm the nard about whether or not I should be putting a rod out, and got convinced by a friend of mine, even though it was 2 o'clock in the morning. He rang me and said, look, at least stick one rod out. And I thought, well, I'm either doing none or I'm doing all of them. If I'm spending the effort to do one, I might as well do 3. So I've done 3. A bivvy is surprisingly in a good state. It's tidy, ish. So I'm going to worry about that in the morning. I'm still pretty wild on caffeine, to be honest with you. I knew it was going to be a late one. Rough day at work, long day at work. A few bits and pieces to do this evening at home before I come here. So it was always going to be late. And then this most ridiculous rainstorm hit. Now, it would do some rain. I knew that wasn't going to be a problem. But this rain came. My God, did it come. So a sort of half-hour, 40-minute job of loading the car up to get ready to come here took nearly 3 hours waiting for this rain. So, yeah, didn't leave house till midnight, or nearly midnight. Didn't get here till nearly 1 o'clock. So, yeah, I think I've done well now. What did I say it was? 3:30? Yeah, 3:30. All 3 rods are out. Bivvy's up. Like, bivvy's tidy. So, yeah, fingers crossed now for the morning. Since I've been here, one guy over on the other side to the left of me, it did look like he had one. His torch was on for a while. I didn't hear an alarm though, so I don't know if he's just been up in the middle of the night, baiting up. I don't know. Can't see it myself, but stranger things have happened. So we shall find out in the morning what happened there, but I'm pretty sure he's had one. So encouraging. So yeah, I shall keep my fingers crossed and see you all in the morning. Good morning. God knows what the dog's up to. What are you doing? Hey? What are you doing around now? Come on in, come. Up. Up. Oh. Come and say hi to the peoples. Oh, there she is. There we go, look. Can't really see, can you? Look. There you go. Oh. I know, Pops, but your breath is minging. Right, go sit down. So, yeah, she's licked my glasses, now I can't see a thing. So yeah, got her yesterday. Didn't expect much overnight, to be honest. There's not much in the way of features on this lake, so your bait is the feature. And it's difficult really to tell even where they are, with it being so deep as well. They don't really show themselves that often, especially in the cooler months. Once it's a bit warmer they're up and they start splashing and getting in the margins a bit more and showing themselves. But at the moment you don't really see them, so you kind of have to guess a little bit. So I have guessed where to fish, and that is purely based upon availability of swims. When I got here yesterday, this place was unusually busy. Yes, I know it's bank holiday weekend and all that stuff, but this place last year, I'd be amazed if there was one, maybe 2 others on when I got here, and that was busy. So yeah, when I got here to see, I think there was 6 on. I think I was the 7th on, and when there's 12 swims in a square, that makes it rather busy. So I'm in a half decent spot. I'm in with a shout, but you never know. It's all in the fish, isn't it? Let's be honest. So Last year I did actually quite well last year. Excuse me, I'm just making myself a brew, or at least trying to. Last year I did quite well. As you can tell, I haven't packed anything. Everything's at the bottom. Typical. Get out. Yeah, so last year catching fish wasn't a problem. I kind of knew where they were. They followed the wind. Unless it was a relatively stale wind and they could be anywhere. But more often than not, they'd stay on the wind and you can catch them. But I never had any of the big ones. Never got through to any of the big ones. So since, I think it was about August last year, August, September last year, I decided to try and fish slightly off the main pack, slightly to the side, or not as far as behind, but you know, just on the back of them, to see if that would pick up the slightly better fish. But it didn't seem to make too much of a difference. So I'm going to start this year off doing similar tactics. I don't think I really gave it a lot of time last year. I think I only had 3, maybe 4 sessions after August. So yeah, didn't really give it a huge amount of time. So where I am now is slightly off the wind. It's the wind is blowing sort of from my right to my left, but hitting the corner on the bank that I'm on. So I'm fishing 2 swims down from the corner where the wind is heading. So you know, we should be all right. The sun is coming out, so weather app tells me. The sun is coming out later today. We're going to have a bit of a wet morning and a wet early afternoon, but after that it should be quite sunny. It is trying to burn through what clouds are out there now. It's just this wind is killing it at the minute. Where I am, we're in the middle of the fens, so if I get out here and look in any direction, it is just literally miles and miles of flat and nothing. The only break up from that you get is the odd farm and the odd tree. Other than that, it really is just nothing, and we're elevated off that. So that wind comes through them fields, picks up some serious momentum, hits the side of the lake and just accelerates across this lake. So you get like a little draft outside your house. I can assure you up here we're struggling to stand up. So yeah, the wind gets up here pretty bad. So the waves are starting to chop over the top of the boards on the swim now. And if that wind starts to swing round a little bit as it's due to, I could find myself having to put the bivvy door down just to stop the water getting in. But hey ho! We are fishing. That is the most important thing. I shall keep you updated throughout my stay. I don't know when I'm packing up yet. Might see the whole weekend through, the whole Easter weekend through, so I might pack up Bank Holiday Monday. It all depends on the weather. If it looks like it's going to be wet Monday morning, I might go late Sunday. Not that it makes too much difference here. Once that weather starts to warm up and we get into spring, day bites are a norm. So I'm not too concerned about missing out by not staying an extra night. So we shall wait and see what occurs. Right. Not much to report really. As you can probably hear, or if you can't, you might during this bit hear the wind still. It's still really choppy out there. Probably a little bit too choppy to be doing any casting or any boat work or anything like that. The door's pretty much all the way up now. So I made myself a brew. Oh yeah. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to change my spots or if I'm going to stick to my guns and carry on with the 3 I've already used in the past and now currently using today. Don't know. I've not seen anything really to change my mind either way, so don't know yet. Haven't decided. So bit boring really, isn't it? Trying to vlog, try and document your fishing, and all you end up doing is waffling on in the bivvy. Look what I haven't caught, and look how I've done it. All you can do is just keep plugging away. That's what we're going to go with. I think we'll go for a little waft. Now my 3 offerings I've used up a little bit. Done a bit of liquid, bit of powder coating on there. So I think sometimes doing the opposite approach with your hook bait has a better result, different result maybe. I could say it worked for me last year. This year is a different year, but I am still fishing for the same fish, so you'd think you'd have a similar result, but don't know. I just don't think I found them. I don't think what I'm doing is wrong. Well, I know it's not wrong, I've caught on it. It's got to be a reason. It's got to be a reason. I started last year when I first came here fishing with spicy baits. The water I came from was loved a spicy bait. So I was fishing a really hot spicy bait, I'm proper confident in it. Couldn't buy a bite. And the fish were people were still catching fish. I'm thinking, why aren't I catching fish? You know, nothing's no difference. You know, and I switched from a spicy bait to a different bait, more of a malty flavour, and straight away I started catching fish. So I think it's a question of then just finding what works. And I'm still yet to find out what's working this year. And I think this one's going to be a little hard hooker with the dome taken off of it, and then we'll get wrong pot. We'll get a little pinky 12 miller, and then we'll do much the same with this one. That you end up cutting this one a little bit more in half, and then you get like a little pinky sight bob. I reckon that there be the one. Right, now for my last one. For my last one we'll have a slurp. Oh. Yes. Oh. What have I done with it? Oh, it's here. The last one, I think we'll do a snowman, and then this time we'll do it with a white tip. Do it with a little white top. My wife likes to call that the BB-8 rig. In homage to one of the best droids that were ever in Star Wars. I used to laugh, but yeah, definite canny resemblance there. So yes, there we go. So Snowman presentation as we all know it, or BB-8 as my wife would know it as. Tidy up time, and yeah, sit and procrastinate for the next few hours. I don't even know what the time is. Where's my phone? 3 o'clock nearly. So yeah, probably procrastinate for another 3 hours until this wind dies off and get my rods out on dark and be nice and fresh for the morning. Hopefully I should have something to report, but if I haven't, we'll just keep plugging away. So, thought process. Ooh, focus. Focus. Focus? Right, yeah, thought process. I'm going to go a little longer on my left rod and a little longer on my right hand rod. Again, spots I've got marked up so I can just send it straight out there. I'm not going to go so long because I think if someone does turn up, I think I'll be proper getting a bit naughty about how far I'm going to go out, but I want to get closer to that corner where that wind's blowing, and I also want to get closer out into the middle of the lake, but again without interfering with the 2 other anglers either side of me on the other banks, because everyone's kind of sort of conversing in on the middle there. So I want to get a little closer to that. Now my right hand rod tomorrow, if nothing happens or if I see the need, I'm going to have a zig rig out there. Not an adjustable zig or a really, really long zig rig. I'm thinking of going 18 inches, maybe 2 foot potentially. The pressure is still quite low. We're still in the upper part of the 900s. So I think the pressure is still low enough that they're going to be down towards the bottom. But I think they're going to be cruising around a little bit more than we give them credit for, I think. And I think they're just going to be just off that bottom a little bit more. So I think if I can offer them something, I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, if it's going to be a little bit of foam or if it's going to be a little buoyant pop-up or something like that, or a trimmed down candy stick maybe. But I'm definitely going to tie up myself. Ooh. Wind's still a little blowy, but I'm definitely going to tie myself up a little zig rig and give that a bit of a wang tomorrow, because tomorrow, where's my phone? That wind's all but gone tomorrow and the sun is due out, so we're going to have potential 14 degrees without any wind, so that's going to feel quite warm. And if the cloud cover goes and it does actually bring a lot of sunshine, I may take off that zig rig and actually put on an adjustable and then bring it right the way up to sort of mid depth, 3/4 depth, because that could bring them up in the water so they can sort of feel the sun off their backs. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud at the moment, but that's my thought process thus far. But for tonight, like I said, 3 rods out on the bottom, 2 different spots, 1 same spot, again similar bait and approach, and then we'll see what gives. But at the moment, again, wind is still a little bit too strong. We've still got maybe an hour or so, probably on 4 o'clock, maybe 2 hours before that wind is supposed to sort of edge back a little bit. So yeah, once that's happening, then we'll get the boat out and we'll rebait. Plus that light fades a little bit, you could be a little bit more secret squirrel, especially with that left hand spot. It's being a little bit naughty because I'm already going past 1 swim, then I'm into the 2nd swim down half from me. So yeah, I don't want to be too naughty. Yeah, so someone could sneak in there in the morning. I don't want to be right balls deep right into their swim and cause a bit of an issue. So yeah, but I want to be as close as I could dare get without causing too much of a problem. And if someone does come in, then I'll just wind in. Not a problem. I'll find another spot. But there we go. That's the thoughts.
Auto. Approaching spot. Manual.
Where the pop-pops? I'm going to squeak your toy while I'm talking to the camera. You are? That's not going to be annoying while I'm talking, is it? Not one bit. Oh, now the phone's going. Anyway, let's turn that on mute. So I've done 2 of the 3 rods now. I'm going to let the other one sit there for a bit until it gets a bit dark. Why won't you focus? And then under the cover of darkness, I'm going to secret squirrel my rod a bit further to the left, so and fish the edge of the second swim down. So I'm going to go across one swim, which I don't think anyone would go in. It's a little close to this one. It kind of cuts you off. You know, general etiquette suggests that you would leave one gap, but not in every instance. So, you know, it's a risky take. But I think just being in that corner, or at least nearer that corner, might bring me a little bit more closer to where the fish could possibly be. Even if it's just the main pack, you can't always choose what you catch, and a bite is a bite. So, and at this stage, on my second trip of the year, I would be happy with whatever comes. So, that said, the cover of darkness will be the time where we get our last rod out. I've also dipped the rods a little bit. The swan was driving me up the wall. I do like to have my rod tips a little higher. It just gives me a bit of an opportunity to get the boat under the rods and under the line a little bit more, rather than over and potentially cause a problem. But the swan, they're in the reeds just to my left here, keeps coming through and seems to be a bit thick and just swims into the lines constantly. So to give them a bit of grace, I just lowered my rod a little bit more so they'll just swim over the line now. So we can see what brings now. What is the time now? We are at 6:30. I think I might eat first. I think Yes, I think I'll eat first and then I'll do my last rod. I think that is going to be the order of the day. Ain't you, babe? She's just had a mad 5 minutes up and down the path. Ain't you, sweetness? With her squeaky toy, winding everybody up. Bless her. You pop it. Bless her. Unfortunately, this is as far out as the camera will zoom, and there's still a little windy out there, and I think if I put the camera on the outside of the door, it's just going to be too windy for the microphone for you to actually see her. I wonder if I can just tip the camera down a little bit more. Is that going to work? Oh yes, there we go, look. I don't think that's going to be wonderfully focused, but there we go, such is life. You got to see her. You got to see the little pop-pops. Right then, dinner. Right, we are now under the cover of darkness. We are special ops style. I'm gonna pop that rod up that far bank now, and then and see what brings. I'm only going to put enough bait out for a bite. The camera's probably not picking me up very well, but we are, like I said, special ops style. Super quiet, super secret squirrel. I've even turned the lights off on the boat, and I've turned the dimmer down on the oh, that's probably giving the game away. I've even turned the dimmer down on the screen of the tablet. Right then, let's see if I can get this out without get myself into all sorts of tangles. Right then, that is the third rod out. You can't beat a little bit of secret squirrel stuff. All I've got to hope for now is that no one turns up there while I'm asleep or first thing in the morning where I haven't noticed it. Like I said, I haven't gone so deep. Just deep enough, just to the edge of that shelf. Quick slurp. Lovely, can't beat it. So, I mean, I don't know what to do. I mean, that's all I can do at the minute. That's the best I've got. So tomorrow I'm gonna stick a zig out. Not a deep one, unless I see any action somewhere. So gonna stick a little zig out, 18 inches, 2 foot off the bottom, and see if they're just cruising around just above the lake bed there. If I catch one in the night, then obviously it gives me something to go on. I can then adjust my approach to suit. Let's have a look, see what the weather app says again. Seems to have stabilised a little bit. So tomorrow, yeah, just cloudy, very little wind, intermittent sunshine till the later of the afternoon, from about 3 o'clock onwards, when the sun will come out a bit more, up to about 7 o'clock, 6 or 7 o'clock it reckons there'll be no clouds there at all. So if anything, that's when I'll probably put on an adjustable zig, bring that up in the water a little bit. If I feel the sun's intense enough, of course. If I don't feel the sun's intense enough, then I shall leave it as it is. But up to that point, I can do no more. The zig is out. The zig-a-zig-ah. 20 past 10. Seen nothing. Heard a few splashes in the night, but not entirely sure if they were birds or not. It was all out towards the middle of the lake. Now, that was my initial thoughts, that they were either going to be following the wind, but the guy in the corner where the wind was pumping into when I got here blanked. Doesn't mean he wasn't doing something wrong, but still, if they were there, you'd expect that someone would catch something. The other option would be they would be held up in the middle of the lake, and like I say, I think the guy to my left on the other bank had one when I got here, He commands the lion's share of the centre. I've got the sort of the outer edge of it, if you like. So I've not had anything on the bottom on the 2 rods that I've got in and around that area. So with this wind dropping and the sun out, like I said yesterday, I was going to stick a zig out, but it was only going to be a couple of foot. But because that sun has actually come out a lot more than I thought it was going to be, I've actually stuck an adjustable zig out. I truly think, having cleaned that hopper of my boat yesterday, that water temperature felt a lot warmer than I was expecting it to be. And now with this sun coming out as more than I thought it was, I think that top layer of that water is going to be a lot warmer and a lot quicker. So I've got the zig at the moment at 12 foot, and I'll bring that up. I've set I'm going to set like an hour timer. That's a minute. I set it for an hour, not a minute. Set it for an hour, and then every hour I'll bring it up another foot or so and see if that induces a bite. If not, I'll change it to a black zig. I've got like a yellow red combo on at the moment. If not, I'll change it to a black bit of foam. I'll keep the yellow kicker on. I seem to always do better something with a little flash of yellow, and then change the foam over accordingly and see where that brings us. I can do no more. I'm going to be having a bit of a tactical change. Bailiff's just been round, and while he was here, what we can only think is it was a fish just suddenly rolled. There's been a lot of grebes around the last few days, which have been a bit of a nuisance, because you know what it's like. You sat there watching the water, and then suddenly you see this dark, you'd liken it to a dark back of a fish rolling, and you sit there looking at the water forever and ever and ever, and then suddenly this grebe appears just out the corner of your eye from where you saw it roll. Ugh, bloody bird. But we sat there for quite a while watching this ring. Sorry, I'm just sharpening my hooks. That's my zig timer. Oh, it's all go. It's my zig timer going off to change the depth of the zig. But yeah, we sat there and watched it for ages and ages and ages, hoping to not see a grebe come up, and that's exactly what happened. Nothing came up. It had to be a fish. It had to be a fish. So, and it was quite close in. So, I lost my scissors. Gonna put a bait on that area, which is about halfway down the shelf. So I'm going to get the flat pairs out, the flat gripper pairs, and I'm going to stick a flat gripper pear lead on there and a nice bait of some sort. Not quite sure what yet. Do I want a wafter on there, or do I want... What to do? Yes, I think I'll stick a little barrel wafter on there. I've got some little barrels in my mix, so I think that'll do that quite well, I think. So yeah, no change to the rig. We're still going to go with what I know, and what I know works here, but just a nice little flat barrel. Nice little barrel wafter there. And then my right hand rod, I'm going to stick long and a bit more right, so that brings it a little more central of the lake. The guy on the point to my right is packed up, so it's given me a little more water straight out ahead of me, as long as I don't go too far and interfere with the guy to the left. That works out perfect. So I'm going to have a hard hooker. What end of the thing is hard hooker? It's this end, I think. Yes. I'm going to have a hard hooker on there, and I think I'm going to have the top of that shaved off. And I'm going to put a little pink actually I might get away with a 15 mil there, I think. I'm just honing my hook points ever so slightly. They're still razor sharp, and then just giving them a little coat there just to stop them from corroding in that water. And there we go. There we go. We are done. So it is now getting on in the day, 3:30. I am now going to change these rods out before it gets dark, while we've still got little to no wind. Hopefully we might see one. What glasses are these? What are they? They're my reading glasses? They're my reading glasses. Oh mate, things are getting bad. Things are getting bad. There we go. There we go. Proper glasses. See what I'm doing now. Hopefully see one or two. Now that calm water is out there now. We'll see. Right, let's get these rods back out. I can do no more. The rods are out for the night. A couple of loose spots, as I said. I've shortened the zig off now, so rather than it being an adjustable zig, I've done what I said yesterday, and just dropped it down to 18 inches. And on that one, rather than it being a little bit of foam, I've got a little black food bait pop up on there. Little squid and I don't know what they're called, squid and something. Oh, peppered squid pop up on there, sort of whittled down on a tiny little hook. I suppose we can see what the night brings now, and that's it. Right. Sometimes you just got to admit defeat, and this hay fever is just killing me. So I'm going to knock it on the head. I'm going to go home and I'm going to spend the rest of the weekend with my wife, and I know she'd like that because she's nagging me for it anyway, but still, nonetheless, I've lost all motivation and drive being here. My face feels like it's about to explode. I can't stop sneezing. My nose is running. It's horrible, and yeah, done. So I'm going to pack down now and get home. And I shall see you on the next one.